Welcome back to the Foundry by Forge College. Okay, so if you caught our last explainer on validator load balancing strategies, you know we love keeping the backend running like a well-oiled machine. But today, we're shifting gears. We're tackling an absolute front-end nightmare. I'm talking about metadata management and the token lifecycle.
Have you ever actually encountered a zombie token? No, seriously, picture this. You've done everything right. You've correctly burned an ERC-1155 token on-chain. You paid the gas, the balance sits perfectly at zero. It is officially, undeniably destroyed. But you open up your user interface and bam, like a zombie crawling out of the digital grave, its image is still sitting right there off-chain, just staring at you like absolutely nothing happened.
So here's our engineering blueprint to exorcise these digital ghosts once and for all. We'll hit the zombie token problem, tame those EIP-1155 URIs, map out our token life cycles, actually build a custom metadata helper, and wrap up with testing and refining. This is exactly how we perfectly sync up your on-chain reality with your off-chain display.
All right, let's just dive right into section 1, the zombie token problem, diagnosing our on-chain versus off-chain realities.
So what is actually going on here? Well, it's a massive disconnect. See, on the on-chain side, burning removes your balance. Your on-chain state is zero. Done. But off-chain, that immutable external metadata pointing to your shiny artwork, it still exists, completely untouched, just hanging out on IPFS. Because think about it, the blockchain doesn't just automatically reach out and delete files off the internet. So your app innocently keeps reading that active link.
Which brings us to section 2, taming EIP-1155 URIs and dealing with location data.
Okay, this part is actually really fascinating. The EIP-1155 URI template is basically a standard URL, but it has this literal ID tag tucked inside brackets. When your app goes hunting for the token, it takes that tag and completely swaps it out with the token's 64-character zero-padded hex ID. This dynamically locates the metadata. It's like a brilliant master blueprint for batch minting. You can use one single base URL to serve up thousands of unique tokens just by subbing in that ID tag. The amount of expensive on-chain storage this saves is literally game-changing.
But yeah, there's always a catch, right? We have to handle something off-chain, normalizing these URIs. You see, standard web browsers like Chrome or Safari, they don't natively speak the IPFS protocol. If you toss a raw IPFS link at them, they just get confused. So we must route those links through an HTTP gateway. We're basically translating that prefix so our front ends can actually read it and, display the artwork.
Moving right along to section 3, mapping token life cycles and token status.
So now that we can actually find the data, how do we handle its life or death status? We use this super simple lifecycle matrix, and honestly, I love how clean this logic is. Check this out. If the on-chain state says it's minted, the metadata returns an active status, and boom, we show it normally. But if it's burned, instead of making expensive on-chain checks every single time a user opens their wallet, we just use an off-chain flag, a simple burned Boolean, that tells our front end to return a burn status, gray out the UI, and lock down transfers. It completely solves the zombie problem. Next up, section 4, building the metadata helper, our client-side tool. So how do we actually automate all this gracefully on the client side? We build a TypeScript helper function. This little tool is going to fetch, normalize, and cache our data efficiently. Really, think of it as the unsung hero of your app, bridging the gap between the rigid numbers of the blockchain and the dynamic visual needs of your UI. The logical flow for this data pipeline is just so straightforward. Step 1, we swap that zero-padded hex ID into the template. Step 2, we normalize the IPFS link so the browser doesn't freak out. Step 3, we peek into that JSON file to check if the token is flagged as dead or burned. And finally, step 4, we just hand that clean, normalized data object right back to the app. And finally, section 5, testing and refining to get that bulletproof code. Now, no engineering blueprint is complete without rigorous testing, something we heavily emphasize in the advanced learning programs at Forge College. But here's a pro tip. You can actually accelerate your building process tremendously by iterating with AI. You literally just feed it failing jest tests for things like timeouts or IPFS fallbacks until your helper is rock solid. But, and this is a massive warning, never ever rely on AI output without test validation. Your test suite is the final boss here. It is the ultimate arbiter of correctness. We also have to test specifically for robustness. Just imagine this. A user loads up their wallet, doing a batch request for, say, 50 tokens, and one single solitary 404 error completely crashes the entire page. Yeah, no way. Our helper has to catch those errors gracefully, returning partial data or maybe just a not found status for that one missing item, while letting the rest of the batch load perfectly fine.
If there is one crucial rule of thumb I want you to walk away with today, it's this quote right here. Treat off-chain metadata as the single source of truth for display semantics. That is the big takeaway. Keep your highly expensive on-chain state strictly minimal. We're talking just balances and ownership. And let your off-chain metadata do all the heavy lifting for your visual interface.
So, we've officially tamed our zombie tokens and built a seriously robust metadata helper. But this actually raises a really fascinating question for our next explainer. How does this exact metadata setup impact advanced minting strategies? I mean, think about it. If you want to dive deeper into how this foundation completely supercharges things like lazy minting and bundling and multi-token contracts, head over to forge.college. You can check out all our other deep dives into Web3 topics there. Thanks so much for hanging out and learning with me today, and I'll see you in the next one.